Well, since 2019, when I first started Joyful Noise Productions, I went from this to that into this. Now we're here. Let's take a good look inside of the new studio, shall we? Hey everyone, once again, this is Joe from Joyful Noise Productions, here to bring you the new studio reveal. So before we go any further, please do me a favor, like this video, share it to all your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. So that way we can be able to kind of keep this channel going and be able to grow this community as we all begin to grow together and try to be a community great once again. So please do me a favor, smash those buttons, leave a comment, and let's get this conversation rolling. Now, as I mentioned in my old video, in the very beginning of the video, obviously this actually Joyful Noise started back in 2019. That means when I kind of started out of necessity. Matter of fact, it started even way before then. I mean, I was even doing home recording in my uncle's garage, believe it or not. It began to evolve, and I said, you know what? It's time to kind of put my money, get my money's investment back into creating a studio. So as you begin to see through some bit of the evolution of this studio, it was abundantly clear that I wanted to kind of make this, in a sense, some money. What I'm doing, might as well put my investment to work, right? Real quickly, let's go ahead and let's look into what I got. Now, obviously, as you can see, I do got some soundproofing. It's not, I don't got all of it yet, but when my son walked in here the other day, he says, wow, this room sounds real different. It doesn't sound echoey. It doesn't sound like it's all going all over the place. And again, as you get to see, I do got some bass traps up on the top there. I also found some little foam to kind of make it. But I do plan to buy some more though, so that way I can really, so that way I can be able to really clamp down on the sound on this thing here. So let's just kind of go here real quick. We'll go to the guitars later. Now, as you get to see right here, I'm converting this closet in here as a sound booth. Okay, also this is a walk-in closet. As you can see, I got my mic there, along with my windscreen. I got a cable attached. This is a 25-foot cable, so right now I got that attached to the desk, where I'll actually reach into my interface. So, as you see right here, I also got headphones as well. Okay, this is still a little has a lot of floor in it. So right now I'm kind of debating whether to kind of keep it echoey or just kind of kill the sound completely. But then again, I got something where if a person wants a tight voice, I got it. So let me kind of show it to you. Now, as you see right up here, I'll see I got some bit of my mic locker right here. I'll see like my C1s, also I got my Behringer B906s. I got also my SL75, which is my Behringer, or a copy of a 57. I also got my condenser mic kits. I also got see, what are these ones? I gotta remember what these ones are. Okay, this is actually this one right here. This is the actual first mic I had that I was using, because if you saw in the first video, if you saw like in one of the video inserts that I have a kind of like an old school shape condenser mic. So that's what this is. And I'll see right here, I got my SL40X right here. And I also got this here, which I kind of use for live performances to hold my tablet on. And also I got my Valatin GP200 right here. So this is going to be a vocal booth. I've been wanting to have a vocal booth for a long time, even though when I first started my old studio back in 2019, I actually converted one of the rooms into a live room. if you probably saw one, if you saw the very first short I put up of my band, of the band that I was recording, which was 3 Days in the Grave, you're gonna see that they had they you know, there was like a drum kit in a separate room. So you know, I was still kind of in the process of working it out, but then we decided to make the move out here to California, to Texas right here. So right here, obviously, this is gonna be the vocal booth here. So now as we get out, so now the next thing we're gonna talk about, obviously, is the wall. As you can see, I do have some bit of the wall right here. It has soundproofing. Okay, now these right here, these are curtains. They're called blackout curtains, and what they do is they're a little thicker, mainly so that way there'd be no sunlight in. But these are also good to bounce off sound, so that way sound will not get through it. You know, when I get through it and bounce off the glass, so that way kind of create a reverbing sound. So having that is one of the good is helping, because right here this is a window, so I wanted to kind of get all that dealt with. Obviously, as we go a little right over here, you can see I got my desk. Then I finally got my keyboard out, which is my Motor 61 by Behringer, which also acts as a Mackie control face. So as you can see, all these are lifted up. So let me see if we can kind of get one of them working. So as you see where it says violin, okay, and you also got the keyboard bus, also along with the acoustic guitar, the vocals. You also got the drums, also right here as well. I do use them. Okay, also right here, as you can see, I got my transport. You know, I got my transport right here. I got the play button, the loop. We also, you know, this is for the main record. Also, this is the start and end. You also got your encoders, which is kind of a little more precise. Right here, you also got your drum pads that are also right there as well. So obviously the same old computer, same old everything. You know, I'm still using Reaper, which is still part of that. And also I got my light, which I'm going to be using just that right only for this video. I wanted to kind of keep that out. So now let's go right over here in this corner right here. Now as you get to see right here, these are okay, let me go ahead and straighten this out real quick. So now right here, I'll see you guys see I have my boost collection. Okay, you see right there. Okay, obviously you got my pedals here. I mean, I got more pedals than this, but these are like my other pedals, like my modulation, delays, and stuff like that. So as you see, I got these pedals here. Now, also, as you can see, I also have some of my amps right here also as well. So you can see right here, I got my Vox Pathfinder, and I also got my Mustang GT. Now, the reason why I have those is because I'm gonna be using these for actual amp recordings. You know, they're the closest things that I can find to a Fender and to a Vox. So I will actually be doing some reamping. I'm gonna be using the vocal booth to be doing some of these recordings also as well through there. And believe it or not, I'll probably be talking about how, in case you want to put a little studio together, you know, this is actually a shoe rack that I only paid $10 for over at Walmart. And one thing I've always been a little bit frugal about a lot of the things that I use, that I purchased. So as you can see right here, I got, you know, like I said, I paid around $10, I believe, for this. I kind of had to make shift of it, so that way it all works together. So obviously I got, so again, same thing, you know, when it came to building the studio, you know, same thing with the desk, whatever was given to me, I made use of it. So like I said, my son, he bought the desk, and obviously, as you see right here, I also got I bought this here on Amazon, so I can kind of get the studio monitor up a little bit. Okay, so then now you see I got my near field monitor speakers. Okay, so as we go along, Now, as you see right here is you see the main computer right here. Okay, let's get a good view of that. See, so as you can see right here, obviously I have my old Frankenstein computer. Okay, right here, obviously now, as you can see, my headphones are a little closer. They're a little closer by, so that way it won't strain up. Now, right here, here's the microphone cable for the vocal booth. Now, the whole engine of everything right here. So, as you can see right here, obviously, we'll talk about those. Obviously, what I've been using for the longest time now is my Behringer 404 HD Euphoria. Obviously, as you can see right here, I'm kind of mapping it up a little bit so that we can be able to use it for outside routing, whether it be for guitar reamping, whatever. So as you get to see, I'm using it for those things. Now, I know some people are gonna say, well, you probably got the outboard gear to kind of make yourself look so important. Well, that's not always true, because as you can see right here, all this does work. So if I turn it on, you're gonna see everything works, and I use everything here. Okay, so everything works. But there's one problem with some bit of this. There's a ground loop. I gotta buy some hum eliminators to get rid of some of the hum elimination. So that's not kind of helping a little bit. So as you can see right here, like I said, everything works, and this is what I use. I use this obviously for bass. As you see right here, all the buttons are pushed in, they're slammed. Obviously, this is my jacks in here. I really don't need it, but as you see right here, also on the bottom right here as well, you can see I got my V amp, and also got my PV trans tube. So I'm trying to get some of my outboard gear working. You see right here, I got my 48 bay patch bay cable. You also got my custom made hose mic panel. That's where I gotta fix a lot of the hum at. So I'm working on that, so that way we can be able to start routing everything from the outside, so it won't look so crazy. Obviously, you got my amps here. You got the 6505 Piranha. We got my Soldano here. We also got the Friedman, and also got the Diesel, and also this here also as well. So like I said, I'm gonna start using a lot more real guitar amps and try to work those into the mix, because there's always been this desire to want to not always use amp sims. Not that the amp sims I don't use are not bad, but it is what it is. So I'll see right here, I got my turntable. Then I also got my old desired hi-fi system, so I got something to listen to. Also, play some old cassette tapes. We'll talk about those soon. Also, right here you got my vinyl. Right here's some bit of my vinyl collection. So you got Fats Dominoes, all the way to Michael Schenker, Striper, Donnie Iris, some of that crazy stuff. So when it comes to the studios, you can just see this is already ready and fully go. As you see, I got more soundproofing. So like I said, it's not done yet. I'm just kind of waiting. Again, money's always the issue, but I'm treating this like the Death Star in the Return of the Jedi. It's not complete, but it's fully functional. Now, obviously, I'm gonna be using these I'm gonna be using these here for the speakers that I plan to buy for the stereo system. So again, gotta have my music. Now, obviously, these two guitars here, these ones here came in the original. Came with the original studio. Obviously, I got my Stormtrooper here. This is my Jackson Minion. I want to throw a shout out to my friend Glenn Rollins for selling it to me. or actually he gave it to me. So I really have nothing but love for the brother. I mean, me and him go way back. So then also I bought this one right here because I'm still a Dinky fan. I love the double cutaways, even though I don't quite fit the mold for LV. So this one I recently just bought. So I'm trying to put some more decor on there to make the room look cool. Now, obviously, you see right here, we got my Van Halen Strat, the Franken Strat here. The review will be coming out for that, so I'm already preparing for the video of that. And obviously, now before we go to the wall of guitars, as you see right here, you got my Elisa's drum kit. So you got the drum. See, there's the kick drum right there. This is the hi-hat that came with it. And you can see right here, also looking from the backside, you can see that I got a Mapex double kick along with the hi-hats there, and just show everybody it turns on. See, so as you see, it lights up, everything works. So now in case I get a drummer that wants to come in here, we could be able to use the drum sounds that come off the computer. So obviously I'm using ELE from Spectre Digital Sound along with Ergotone's drums, and I'm also using battery, which I more use for my own personal sound. So, but I'm still kind of contemplating whether to kind of integrate everything into battery. So I just have just one suite and one suite alone to kind of put everything through that because the way everything's mapped. And let me show you why. See, as you look right over here. This is a menu telling where the drums, which drum, how this is mapped. So I got about 4 different mappings for the drum kits I use. So it's something, so as you're probably getting to see it's how complicated it is. Now, one thing that has always bothered me about being in a room, this guy. Well, in California, when I had my California studio, it was desert, so it was gonna be hot, so I always had that thing going. Now here, humidity is worse than dry heat, so it's almost as bad. So having part of the fan is part of it. Now let's go to probably the wall that you guys are pretty interested about, which is the guitar wall. So I'm gonna look behind me now and I'm gonna show you. So obviously, if you guys remember this guitar here, obviously that's my that's my Acoustasonic, or my Teleacoustic as I call it. And I have just the one. I just have one stand for right now because that's the only guitar really I use to practice, and and to kind of noodle with a little bit. And also you can see right here, I got my mandolin. I do play a little bit of mandolin. I just haven't got to it yet. Now see right here, you got my Fender roll, what I call it. Obviously, tellies go up in front. You're probably thinking, why would you want the tellies up in front? Well, the tellies are, even though I got a lot more strat body styles, but I kind of fell in love with the tellies. Probably one day I'm gonna start doing it. In case I start running out of content, I kind of have an idea of what of that I've seen what people have been doing. So besides this is included, the Franken Strat, which the video will be coming out for pretty soon. Also, you got my first telly right here, which is this one right here. Now, the story about me and the telly go a long way back. Not this one in particular, but the story of wanting to get a telly. Let's just say when I first started playing guitar, my dad wanted to get me one, and I wanted a Strat. Because why? Because all the cool guys played Strats, you either had a Jackson or you had a Fender, or you had an Ibanez. You were one of the cool kids, but a Telecaster, and not so much. But throughout the years, I've kind of learned, it's kind of grown on me. The one person who I really think inspired me to get one is a guy by the name of Mike Stand, from the band the Altar Boys. He had a souped up one, and it just sounded killer. When I heard it, almost same exact color scheme. I was like, oh, I gotta get me a telly because it could sound that killer. Then obviously this is my first Harley Benton. We're probably gonna talk about this soon because I'm thinking about getting more Harley Benton guitars. I'm still kind of working on finances to get that. Then there's my Strat right here. This one right here I've had for since 2000, I believe, or 2002 when it first came out. I guess 2020, but I didn't buy it at a store. Actually, I found it in a pawn shop. So it was for $100, so I snagged it. Then obviously I went back here. Let's go a little bit more over on this side, so you can get a little bit more better view. Obviously, right here, this is my 1980s Fender Heavy Metal Strat. Got that one here. And obviously there's my Sabring. And like I said, this guitar is over 30 years old, and I've had the same exact one. I'm thinking about customizing it, kind of get it the way I wanted it to at one time, which is to kind of put some gold hardware on it to make it look cool. You know. Now obviously we got right here in this row right here, we got my Gibson or humbucker row right here. Obviously this one I bought in 2015. I nicknamed him Mr. Pulfus after the great Les Paul. Right here also, this one I bought here in Houston. This is what you call the Akadaka guitar. This one right here, my son calls it the Akadaka. And right here's my 2003 Dot Studio. I have that. This one I have. This one I bought here in 2000. This one I bought in 2005 in Kansas City, or actually St. Joseph to be honest, because Kansas City and St. Joseph are pretty much in the 45 minutes from each other. So, but it's still considered Kansas City. So I got this one here. Then this one I bought in 2010, I believe. The PV, one of the 2003 PV Wolfgang. Always wanted one, even though I fell in love with the specials. I like the white pearl one in particular. That one was awesome. You know, I really fell in love with that one, but this one was better because this one's the USA model. You know, even though the Wolfgang Special was a USA model, but this one is the carved top, so it has the flame maple carved top along with the bindings. The Special was just a flat top. So, any difference in sound? I don't know. It all depends on how you set your amp. Now, this one here I got 2 years ago. This is right here. This one right here. This one right here is the PV Nitro, 1986 model, I believe. 1986, 87. In the 90s, they took on a more killer streamlined shape, so it had more. So I had more of the killer, what they call the droopy headstock. So I had the 90s aesthetic for the time. So I had the head aesthetic for the time, and I had a red one at one time, but those 90s my nitros are hard to find. I still love to get my hands on, even though the Vandenbergs are coming back up, but right now $1,000 is kind of a little hard to come by. If I found one at a pawn shop, you better believe I'm throwing some money down on it. Then right here is another guitar that kind of similarly I had at one time, or kind of somewhat. This right here is my Jackson LS3. Some of you guys probably seen it play on my video, probably my early videos. The reason why I got this one, because I've always wanted to get what they call another LS model. If you Google Charvel LS1, the one I wanted was the gold top. That was always the thing with me. That guitar is another unicorn for me. It was just hard to find. I'd love to get my hands on that guitar, let alone I'd like to get my hands on the LS2. The LSX2 has a Floyd on it. So then we got right here. Then we got my custom made Charvette, which I kind of, it's kind of like a parts caster. Like I said, it's kind of a bit of a parts caster a little bit. You know, I actually got built it with Charvet parts, except for the neck. The neck is an actual Charvel neck. So at the times when I was putting this guitar together, the parts were easy and cheap to come by. And at the time before my business tanked, this was like years and years ago, back in 2012, I think it was, before, I think 2010, 2012, something like that. Oops, sorry. Cut the video out by accident. Anyways, you see right here, this is one of the ones I wanted to get. I wanted to kind of get like a candy color one, kind of candy color on it. I can still be able to get a candy on it, but it is what it is. But I still want to get the one where it has the two pickups, has the humbucker and the sideway single coil on it. But I'm also looking to get one with a reverse headstock, so I can be able to, if I ever get my hands on something like that, I do plan to put a crackle finish on it. So, no, see, and lastly, but most of all, I got my tribute guitars. Right here, this one, this is my Randy Rhoads tribute, as you can see with you know, has the white pinstripe, gold hardware. It has a tunematic bridge. Now, probably you see right here where it's kind of, I put my saddle at it. Right there, you probably might, you know, that's a really good visual of it, but because this thing has been in the case too long, it started to grow hair. So I'm planning to get it repainted one day. Planning to get it repainted. Now, this one also is my other one, my other favorite. Now, some of you are going to get to see, I am a fan of Michael Sweet. You know, obviously, there's reasons why. This is obviously both these guitars are my JS models, former JS models. I decided to pin them up and set them up a certain way. So, you know, obviously, like I said, Michael Sweet was an inspiration for this one. So, and like I said, if somebody get to know me, you're gonna realize, oh God, this guy's kind of a big Michael Sweet follower. Yeah, I do have nothing but love for Michael Sweet. Sometimes I don't agree with a lot of things he does or says, and I'm a Christian for saying that. But you know, but I got nothing but love and respect for him. He's an awesome brother. Now, you guys are probably wondering, if you guys have gone through my videos, you're probably thinking, well, where's the rest of your amps? Remember last year you did especially if you kind of tag hit the tag right there, you're gonna see that I have a video with the demonstration of all my amps. I have them stored away for right now, because as you probably see, this room is a little too small. However, as you get to see, I got everything the way I want it. And you know, I'm more using this as to record, and hopefully, maybe through this, I'll be able to get more stuff in and be able to record more stuff here. You get a little better. I did not just add, it gives you a little more of a legit way of validating myself as being, okay, this guy's a serious player in the YouTube world. So just kind of let you guys know. But also, I want to talk about one thing. I want to give a shout out to Robert Jackson and his channel. He recommended these. I don't know if you can barely see them, but he recommended these. Okay, Robert Jackson. You know, he's all right. There's some things that I don't agree with him on, but it's okay. It's, like they say, we can always agree to disagree. But he did recommend those. The railing, and like he says, it's strong. Even though when it comes to the screwing, I realized, okay, you don't need no 2-inch screws. You need maybe just about 1.5, maybe at best. So I was able to get the 1.5 in. Now the only problem, the only qualm I got is these right here. The flanges are not thick enough where they can actually be able to kind of fit right through the right through the slots. So it kind of it does bring it. So I had to use some screws to kind of put them back in, so that way they stay together. But as you can probably see, it reinforced the wall, the hangers a little more. you know, and because of the way I kind of had this set up, I got the guitars the way they set up. Now, when my son comes in here, he says, "Man, it looks like you're going to Guitar Center every time you kind of look to that side of the wall." Well, again, this is my studio now, and like I said, we're kind of, you know, even though this is gonna be a short term, supposedly as what me and my son talked about, the goal is obviously is hopefully I can be able to get some income coming in where I can be able to just maybe rent a suite out, rent a suite out, you know, maybe get like an office area, rent it out, and you know, by that time I should be able to, if my son's supposedly ideas work out, me and my wife and I, we want to kind of get our own place eventually, and wanting to rent out a studio would be, you know, wanting to rent out an office building and convert it into a studio is one of the things that I have in mind. And with some of the property rentals here in Texas, it might happen. So, but that's just me though. You guys tell me what you think. So once again, don't forget to like the video, share it to all your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. And also, hopefully in the future I'll be able to start putting up some things where if you want to help support this channel, you can be able to do so. I do got a Patreon, but I'm still working on that right now. So hopefully we'll get all that going. So until next time, peace out.